Hello, welcome to this week's Rebel Coaching Corner. My name is Jenny Ruiz-Williams. I'm the head coach of UNLV Women's Soccer. And I'm looking forward to connecting with all the Rebel fans out there and talking about UNLV Women's Soccer. How this works is you guys are going to send me questions. I'm going to answer them. And just being completely transparent, I feel like I'm talking to myself in a mirror. Because I can just see myself. So hello to everyone out there, and I hope I can do our very first Rebel Coaches Corner justice. So first question, what was it like playing for the Mexican national team? Playing for the Mexican national team was something I'd always wanted to do as a little girl, and every wish, every dream, every prayer was to play at that level, at the highest level. So it was an amazing experience. And I'm actually a UNLV alum, so I played at UNLV, and my first opportunity to play with the Mexican national team was when I was 19 years old, while I played here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So dream come true. All right. Mark is sending me questions here, so I'm checking in with him. Question number 2. What was your favorite moment from your professional career? Okay, my favorite moment from my professional career was when I played in the 2011 Pan American Games in Mexico, so in my home country, and we were in the bronze medal game, and it had been like a 7-year hiatus where I hadn't played. We were playing against Colombia, and I was playing center back the whole tournament. So center backs usually don't typically score, but we were in overtime, and it was a corner kick, and so I got to score the winning goal for the bronze medal in the Pan American Games. And at that time, my husband and my 2 kids were there. So the best part was I was able to share that moment with them. Next question. I hope I can make this entertaining. What was your transition from player to coach like? So being a female professional soccer player is not the most lucrative career, so you have to sacrifice quite a bit. So my playing career, I always coupled with jobs. So I worked for some amazing clubs, and I worked as the coaching multiple teams. At one point, I had 4 club teams that I'd coach, save my money, go down to Mexico for camp, and then play. So it was kind of on the job training. So I was able to go into camp with the Mexican national team. I'd keep a journal and write down all the drills we did. And then I'd go back to my job and I'd incorporate it with the players at their level. So after my playing career was over, sadly, coaching, you just it's so easy to fall into coaching because it's something you're so passionate about. Oh, Dan, what's up? I see Dan Abdallah on there. Question 4. What player did you inspire to be like? Who did I want to be like when I was younger? When I was younger, I really looked up to LA Galaxy when they were first starting in the MLS because we didn't have any female role models to really look at. So I wanted to be like Kobe Jones. And then once I was starting to watch the U.S. national team, I fell in love with Julie Foudy, a center midfielder, amazing human being. And then my first time watching Mexico play, I fell in love with Maribel Dominguez, who is an absolute beast, so passionate, and I really, really adored her. Dan Abdallah is on the chat, and shout out to Dan, former UNLV head coach, my coach. And his daughter is a baller. Chloe wants to know what position you played. Back in the day, I was a sweeper when we had a sweeper at UNLV. But I like to say I'm played mostly defense, but I'm a forward at heart. Okay, question 4. Let's see. Oh, I need more questions, people. let's see. I'll talk a little bit of the transition coming to UNLV and coming back here. It's been so fantastic. I love Vegas. I love heat. If you don't know anything about me, I love when you get in the car and the seatbelt burns your skin. I love that. Being back here in Vegas makes me. All of you are cringing right now. I can see it. Makes me so happy to be back here and be a part of this community, which is amazing, and back in this beautiful climate. Who's your biggest role model from a coaching standpoint? That's an awesome question. My favorite role model coach that I kind of constantly am Googling is Pep Guardiola from Man City. I think he's so I adore all of his tactics, and I love his soccer mind. So he's probably the one I'm most, from a coaching standpoint, that would be like a role model for me. Laura Harvey she was my coach when I played for Seattle Reign in the NWSL, and she was one of the first female coaches I had ever played with, and that was in my early 30s. And she was amazing. She was so fun and enjoyable. And who else did I've played for Leonardo Cuellar with Mexico ever since I was 19, all the way up to later in my 30s. So I have a really good relationship with him. Oh, I love these positive comments. Running Rebels says, what was your favorite memory during your time as an athlete of another sport? Oh, of watching another sport. I love going to Running Rebel basketball games. So if you guys don't know, I met my husband at UNLV. So he was on the swim team. And if I'm going to be open with you guys, would go because he's he's a Vegas-born Running Rebel fan. And so I'd half go when I was a student at UNLV, and I was half watching the game, half watching Kevin, my husband, from the stands. But just so many amazing memories in the Thomas and Mack. Other than being a very good soccer player, ooh, thank you. What is the most important thing you look for when recruiting future Rebels? That's an excellent question. When I'm looking for future Rebels, I always think of it kind of like dating. So there's an attraction piece. So right when you're evaluating someone, you see they catch your eye, they're amazing athlete, technician, whatever it is. But then you've got to get deeper into the relationship and get to know who they are as a person. At UNLV, we are finding the whole Rebel, where they're meeting our standards academically, on the field, off the field, with fitness and all these different areas. So I'm looking at the whole package when we're looking for future Rebels to come in. This is a town that fights, is blue collar, is gritty. So I'm looking for players that are going to fit what Vegas is, that they don't stop, they don't quit. It's 24/7. Great question. What was your favorite memory? This is from Dan again, with teammates off the field while playing at UNLV. Oh, this is so good. We would always go on the field, and when we weren't playing, and we'd have juggling competitions, and we'd play games with juggling where we'd have to, if you messed up, you got a letter. So one of my favorite memories is when Annie Maiulo, she lost, and she had to run through a UNLV rugby game while it was going on, which was a really fun, awesome memory that I enjoyed. That's a great question. What other great memories do I have of being a Running Rebel? Obviously, meeting my husband, all of my teammates. I'm so fortunate to have Jenna Olson, formerly Jenna Huff, on our coaching staff, who is a rock star at UNLV and holds, to this day, all of the goalkeeping records. So we constantly, when we're walking on campus, have so many memories of everything. One of the big memories that you always, if you are a future running rebel on here, or if you are someone who was a former running rebel, you think a lot about how painful fitness was in running fitness tests and just running in the heat and suffering with your teammates. But that's what really bonds a team, and that's what really sticks in my mind, where you are like, man, I missed suffering on that field together with my teammates. Next question. What is one aspect of sport that you think has been most transferable to life after competing? Adversity. That's a great question, especially dealing with what's going on right now. Adversity with sport, everyone's heart gets broken no matter what. When you're playing sport, you win the championship, you still want more. What's next? It's not satisfying. You lose, what can you do better? Adversity. So I think I've taken that into all aspects of my life, that you're going to go through bumps and speed bumps and over gaps and rocks. And it's how I think a lot of this generation, a buzzword is leaning into things. I think it's the run and rebel way is to run into it. We're going to run over speed bumps. We're going to run past adversity, and we're going to get through it. So that's an awesome question. Due to the current situation, the players that were going to attend the camp back in March looking to get scouted for the Rebels, what could they do to get looked at for this upcoming fall season? That's an awesome question. So right now, sending videos, sending emails, I have so much time to go through and evaluate emails, and staying connected is a huge part. Making sure you're filling out our questionnaire so that you can get updates on what's going on with our program. That's an awesome question, Kyla. Thank you so much. Next question, what are you doing to keep the ladies motivated during the stay-at-home time? Kim, that's a really good question. So I'm looking at this as so much opportunity to build our culture. So we've built an identity and our core values, and now because we're not together on the field, we're together on Zoom calls, we're together in group chats, and we're able to continue sharing what we want to look like and what we want to be for next year. A lot of it is focusing on how we can be best prepared and ahead of every other team out there with how we're preparing. So we meet with them 3 times a week over Zoom calls. We also have an amazing strength and conditioning coach that's keeping them fit and has an amazing program for them. We have standards for juggling and technical that they need to keep. And we also have individual meetings one-on-one so we can check in with them. We also have an amazing academic advisor, shout out to Alan, who also checks in with it daily. So our UNLV women's soccer team is getting hit by so many avenues and support staff that's helping them to be successful, which is super awesome. What team building activities do you like? Oh, that's a really good question. I can't share some of the ones we're going to do this fall because I don't want to give it away to the team. But I will share one because I think, at least when I was a player at UNLV, we did this. And everyone I've talked to that was a former UNLV women's soccer fan, or soccer player, did this. So we will do this fall. So if you're watching and you're a player, for this fall, ladies, get ready for this, but it's a UNLV scavenger hunt. And our coach, when Jen and I played, had us do a UNLV scavenger hunt with photos. And it's a great way to know your city, your university, and work as a team. So that's probably one of my favorite memories, and I'll bring that back to the program. I'm really excited about that. 8 years old, loves watching the girls play. He also wants to know about team building activities. That's awesome. I love team building activities. I love team building activities. I love anything that bonds a team. The best part about having in a team sport is you're getting not only your 11 women to bond together to be able to play together, but your whole roster in whatever position that they are supporting the team. So if you have a strong team culture and you have players that are willing to sacrifice their body, I always talk about the girls, like, you're going to have ugly thighs coming out of college if you're willing to slide tackle and get those nasty raspberries to sacrifice for your teams. I want players like that are willing to get like a bloody face because they've taken it in the face for their team. So team bonding, huge, to be able to willing to put your body on the line for the girl next to you. From Twitter, UNLV Athletics, how would you describe your coaching style? My coaching style is winning. I love to win. But so my coaching style in a nutshell, if I'm going to give you my US soccer curriculum coaching style, defensively, very organized structure. The team already knows it's a mechanical machine ever with working components. Everyone has a job and they quickly go into that formation, the defensive formation. So very, very German defensively. And then offensively, much more of rather than a well-oiled machine, it's a well-oiled painting, and it's Latin, and it's creative, and it's exposing teams, and it's giving teams a bit more freedom. So structured defensively, very to the T, and then offensively, attacking to score goals with freedom, with creativity, with personality. So that was an awesome question. How many girls are you looking to have on your roster in this upcoming fall season? Great question. I am going to have upwards of 30 on a roster, which is normal for what Division I women's soccer looks like right now. So I'm excited. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the players that we've brought on. I'm very excited. And what's also exciting is before COVID-19 hit, I was able to have a good chunk of time with the girls that we have right now. And I'll tell you, I haven't met a group so willing to work for each other. It's a really great group with beautiful diamonds within. And all I'm doing right now is I'm just dusting them off and helping them to shine, bring some confidence. So that combined with the players we're bringing in, I am so thrilled and so excited about the future of UNLV women's soccer. Mallory, you picked UNLV twice in your life as a student athlete and now as our new coach. What draws you to the UNLV University and community the most? Mallory, that's an amazing question. How could you not? Like, it has a part of my heart. I love this school so much. And I said this before, I don't know, and I'm being biased, many other coaches in this country that feel the way they feel that I feel about UNLV. I love it. I love my job. I love stepping on the field. I love being on the same turf that I played on. I love sweating, working hard. I love grinding. I don't think the question is how could have I picked UNLV twice? Like UNLV, I'm grateful that UNLV gave me an opportunity the first time because I came and it changed my life coming to UNLV and having the opportunity to play here. And it changed my life again. Like I am so grateful and so happy. So that's an excellent question, Mallory. And I'm absolutely gushing just being here. Next question. What was it like transitioning from a professional player to a coach? Again, I think it was a really easy transition. You know what? For anyone out there that I felt very insecure, probably, that I thought when I was a player, I thought, man, I could never coach at a high level. Even when I was a young coach, I thought I'm going to stick to these young. This is my MO. I'm good with the younger ages. But as you develop and you build more confidence, and it's just an easy transition. This college level is so phenomenal because I get to coach the player, the person. I get to go grab a hold of these young women where they're at pivotal moments of their life. Like I made huge decisions when I went to college, and I get to play some part in mentoring them. How awesome is that? So the transition was difficult as far as anyone, even a player, you lack confidence and maybe you're a bit insecure, but as you go on, it's amazing. Next question from Twitter. How are you and the team adjusting to dealing with social distancing and not having any spring games? That is a really good question, and it goes back to the culture we're building with the players. So on Monday we had a Zoom conference call, and we talked about being refined by fire. In order for gold to become pure gold, it goes through this refining heating process, and it's tested where all the impurities are coming out and what's left is shiny, beautiful gold, right? So this is something that would have happened in summer where they're off on their own and they're being held accountable for training. And so now they get to do it a little sooner and they're being tested. It's a great opportunity. Are our leaders strong enough? Is our culture strong enough, right? And so what's great for us is we get to guide them a bit with some of our Zoom calls as they're going through this transition. It's just a new normal. It's a new normal. And as I mentioned before, this team is so willing. They say, okay, what's next? No problem. Let's go, which I love. Chris Pugh, shout out to Chris Pugh. Tell us a bit about your staff and their strengths. Oh, let me tell you about this staff. So I've already told you about Jenna. Jenna every day, just it amazes me. She is a phenomenal person, comes from, obviously as a UNLV alum. I've been courting Jenna for a long time because we brought her out of teaching. She was teaching in Boulder City. But before that, she had 5 years with the University of Houston, and she's a phenomenal goalkeeper. This spring, she jumped in goal with the team, and their jaws were down. She's got it still. She is so good, but she's a grinder. She's the thing about Jenna that you can't replace is the same thing that if you come to UNLV, you cannot get rid of this love. And it's a beautiful thing that chokes you. She is running rebel. So if you go to her house, she's got a running rebel UNLV flag right in the front, just waving in the wind. So her passion for UNLV is amazing. And then I have Kaylee Sullivan. Now, Kaylee is probably a bright star for coaching in the country. She's amazing. So her areas of expertise, she's attack-minded. She is very into strength and conditioning and body flow and different things with the body. She complements us so well, has a new perspective. She just spent 2 years at Stanford before coming to us. I was very grateful that she said yes to UNLV, and I have Mallory and Chris on staff that were amazing guiding that process to bring Kaylee along. But she's got a world of knowledge, and again, someone who fits the mold here at UNLV with willing. Next question from Twitter: what is your scheduling philosophy? That's a really good question. Right now, at the point where we're at right now, I want to schedule teams that are going to help us to prepare for the Mountain West Conference as best as possible. And being wise with how we're finding good games that are going to help our RPI and also to give a good showing and development time for our team. So a good mix of all those things. I don't think anyone can really have the right formula for how it can go. I'm excited about the schedule we have coming up, and the whole goal is to go into the Mountain West Conference and to make a huge splash. And I want, if I'm being a bit overly confident, I want people to really fear what's going on at UNLV and what's about to hit them. Next question. These are great questions, you guys. Wow. I was kind of nervous that I might have 5 viewers, one being my husband, the other one being my mom. So this is exciting. Let's see. Throughout your travels as a player, where would you say was the toughest place to play? Ooh, that's a really good question. So little known fact, I've played soccer on every continent except Antarctica. And you know how I feel about cold weather, so I'm not going to go there anytime soon. Hardest place to play is probably United States, just because of the fan base that comes for the United States. And also, when I first started playing for the Mexican national team, it was I played against the U.S. when it was against Mia Hamm and Julie Foudy, and then I also played against them when it was Abby, Hope, and Megan Pino and all of that. So I went through all of those. That's how old I am. All of the different players for the U.S. Playing in Canada was difficult. I got a yellow card one time, and there was over 10,000 people standing and applauding that. That doesn't feel too good. Playing in as a player for UNLV, the toughest place to play, I think were teams maybe at altitude. But I love the strength of playing when people come to play us is they're coming to our heat, and that's a strength that we have. Great question. Another question. UNLV is one of the most diverse communities in the country. What are some of the most valuable aspects that diversity offers to a team? Mallory, that's a really good question, because I think a lot of what's special about our teams is it's what happens in Las Vegas is it's littered with so many with so much diversity, and our Lee Business School is fantastic. The internship opportunities with that our international imprint with for us, we have a Canadian international, we have a Japanese international that are coming next year, and I think it just echoes and mirrors kind of what our country is, which is really exciting. I think diversity is powerful, and I love that UNLV represents that. Even within the coaching community of UNLV and the head coaches, it's phenomenal, because it's just a melting pot of ideas and past experiences and new outlooks. So it's just amazing. I love that about it. From Twitter, what will be more nervous? Your first college games as a player or a head coach? That is a phenomenal question. So, this is another thing I'm just going to be super transparent with you guys about me is I get nervous for everything. Like for this call right now, so nervous. But it's nervousness channeled in a way that's very exciting. I love being nervous because it means my body is preparing for a battle or whatever it is that's set before me. But I do get nervous. Man, if I'm being open, I'm like so excited to have my first game with UNLV this fall as a coach. It's very exciting. Probably that will, because I want the players to be successful. I'll question if we're prepared enough. I always want to be first. I want to be the best. So it's always just look how can we be ready and prepared the most. So that makes me nervous because I want things to go well. And wait, you look for your players to be when scouting. Okay, that's a good question. That's a valid. So here's the beauty with soccer. The ball is played on the ground, right? So whether your size, Messi is not known. He's one of the most famous players. He's not known for his size and his build as being gigantic, right? But he's an amazing soccer player. One thing that Jenna always talks about when she's recruiting, we talk about goalkeepers, Jenna is like 6 foot, and when she's looking for goalkeepers, she says it doesn't matter size, it's if they have hops, right? So it's so many things about a player that can make them special, and whether you're a technician, where your athletic area is, those are things that from my coach's lens, I look at what you have and what we can help grow and develop you as. So that's a really good question. Wow. Oh, I think that's it for time. So sad. That really went, they told me before we started, I was like, how long is this going to be? And I was nervous we're going to fill up the time, but they said it would go by fast. So unfortunately, that's a wrap. I want to thank everyone for tuning in for the first ever Rebel Coaches Corner. Thank you for all the amazing questions. And I appreciate all of you. Hope everyone's staying safe from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And go Revs!